here, and I'm back again with another review. This time for Chasing Amy. This is on the next stop on the Tribeca uh, Film Festival, and as we this movie makes full steam as we kind of get into it, and all the movies that I watched so far. Um, Big impacts with this movie in a lot of different ways. I do think this for sure is going to be a big contender. This is a project that has been in pretty much development since 2018. And his the documentary on the movie Chasing Amy, basically. But not only is it a documentary, it's a documentary that goes into the complexity of the legacy of that movie and the LGBTQ plus and the people there and on the life and the life saving impact it has on the director Sav Rogers. Um, Movie takes a deep dive into so many elements that I didn't even know were there. Chasing Amy being one of my favorite movies. Not actually being able to relate to the being in love with a lesbian element to it, but some of the romanticized love stuff that happens in the movie, I think a lot of people can relate to. And in this movie, I mean, they pretty much go through any topic of conversation you could think of that relates to this movie that's probably been had since 1997 till now. But despite the topic of this movie is it's really what it meant to Sav and how it saved his life and how how much of an impact it had on his childhood. Really just not to use the cliche, like you just never know what small thing or what you may say or what you could do in life that may save somebody else inadvertently that you might not even realize that you did. And for this, for Kevin Smith, or for Sav, Kevin Smith Chasing Amy movie was that movie. We get a lot of impact as to what this movie meant to him and how growing up and confused as to not knowing what they were at the time. This movie was a kind of a gateway into trying to figure out, um, I don't want to say what category, but what kind of the category they fit in, and a better way to identify themselves as they went around their journey. But what I like about this movie is, like I said, it really breaks down a lot of the, I guess, the romanticized being in love with a lesbian thing that it brings up. But you get a lot of backstory on, not only is this documentary for for Sav and their journey, but this is also a documentary on stuff that actually was happening in the movie and behind the scenes themselves. I had no clue that Kevin Smith and Joey Lauren Adams was even dating in real life, or any clue that a lot of their actual relationship had impact on this movie and how stuff was written. I mean, obviously, I think that's a testament to a lot of good writing, because then you get to relate a lot of your personal life to a movie, which pay these writers, man, because like I said, I mean, you get quality movies like that all the time if you're able to like write from the heart, write from experience, and just know how to tell a story. But like I said, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you get from this movie that is just, I just kind of blew my mind there, because like I said, I didn't know. On top of that, we get to get a chunk of the movie and like some of the cast, some of the writers, some of the directors, of course, Kevin Smith, um, able to come in and tell their story behind the scenes, what this movie meant to them, how this movie, impacted their lives. Of course, we get Joey Lauren Adams comes in, of course, Kevin Smith. We get Banky himself comes in. Jason Lee comes in, does that. Um, but kind of like them really explaining like some of the dialogue. And, as a straight white man writing a movie about gay people or trying to relate to that, and they really break that down is to tell you like this is not what that is. Obviously, Kevin Smith would not be able to write a story about the gay perspective, not being of that community himself, but he's telling a story about an experience that he's gone through, Um, and clearly, like if this movie would have came out today, this would have been shut down day one. And they explain that. They explain a lot of it, but I definitely, like I said, growing up with this movie, this is definitely one of those movies. Like I said, I probably have watched more than a dozen times. On the Kevin Smith movie list, it's definitely one of those movies. Um, with it being a rom com, not to say that I've had like any fantasies or anything about dating the rest, but I think the overall story of those two characters. And if you guys seen the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, you see kind of where the resolution of that goes, which I think is realistic. Um, but you get a lot of the heart of this is Sav's journey while creating this, and while this comes off as a love letter to Kevin Smith himself, being able to do a documentary on a movie that you love and actually get to meet your favorite writer, your favorite director, and then you're able to talk to them and build a friendship and do certain things. I think it's probably any writer's dream, anybody that works in the industry's dream, to be able to actually relate to somebody that you admired. Not only that, but to learn things about this person that you put on a pedestal, that you like, man, oh, this is probably not what you wanted to hear at the end of the day. Um, it's just a phenomenal movie. I mean, it's only an hour 30 minutes, but like I said, they're releasing it now in 2023. This was back in 2018. It really has me thinking, like, where does it start and end for a documentary? What is the final point? Okay, this is we got enough. Let's pull it, because I had no idea how this was going to end. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I had no idea how this was going to end or where the final point was going to be. But we get, like I said, we get a lot of backstory into these characters and just a little insight, not all of it, a little insight into Sav's journey dealing with, you know, coming out and a lot of the transition, and like I said, using this movie. I don't want using the movie as a crutch to kind of get through life. Um, and like I said, being able to have friends and family in your life that are able to support that. I think this movie shows definitely having somebody to lean on, and just having at least one person in your life to really get you through it. Will get you through the toughest stuff. I really like this documentary. This is something that I definitely recommend if anybody's Tribeca. If you're watching this, this is definitely on the top of my list right now. It's been contenders, but like, yeah, this is definitely something that I probably, it caught my eye, obviously, because it's about a movie that I liked growing up, and I didn't know how deep it was going to get into it, and I'm glad that I did watch it, because it was 100% worth the journey. I mean, just the cameos alone, just some of the behind the scenes stories that you're not going to get on the DVDs, some of the relationships said with Miramax and Harvey Weinstein, and how how people had to deal with that back then, after finding out the monster that he was, or probably knew, but was like, hey, we just trying to get this thing made, pretty much making a deal with the devil to get make your dreams come true. Um, but no, like, this is up there. I highly recommend this. This was, man, years in the making for Sav. Look, I really enjoyed this. I know you put your soul into it. This, like I said, hour 30 minutes. It was worth every time. I wish there was more. I can imagine how much footage is left on the table that could be used for this documentary. But I can tell you, what they've been able to crunch this down to is worth it in every way. I mean, it's a movie within a documentary. So you get quite a bit of layer in this documentary itself. Like I said, it's just so. It's like behind the scenes, like I said, documentary, and it's a movie on Sav's life, in itself. But like I said, Tribeca, man, they dropping hits this year. But Chasing Amy, coming out during Tribeca the week, I want to say, of June 12th. So you should be able to see that. And you can buy tickets for Tribeca. But look, Terrell told you here, it's 100% worth your time. If you're a big fan of Kevin Smith, if you're a fan of documentaries, if you're a fan of just feel good stories, and I can tell you, this is definitely worth every second that you're gonna watch into this. Just a lot to think about. After watching this now, and also wanting to just watch Chasing Amy, because I really love that movie. But I can tell you, like I said, it's worth it. So if you got Tribeca, if you're going to Tribeca, if you got the Tribeca pass at home, make sure you watch this. Chasing Amy, directed by Seth Rogers, starring Seth Rogers, and so many more people that you like. But I guarantee you that you will enjoy this movie. And on that note, I will see you guys for the next one. See you.